This evening, we're going to be reviewing and analysing showreels. All right, so let's just, as they say in the internet parlance of our time, let's just dive in, shall we?
Yes, dive in.
How are you doing? It's we had a very peculiar experience today. We went to a place called the Athenaeum, or the Ateneo, here in Madrid, and I had the opportunity to sight read The Origin of the Species in Spanish, which was, of all the things I could have chosen to read in Spanish without having read before, Origin of the Species translated into the Spanish Castellano.
It was a very good translation. Did you notice it?
No, I was too busy trying to work out what the hell I was saying.
No,
it's hard enough to make sense of it when it's in your own language and you got to read it, sight read it.
It's 1800s book, so some of the uses of the language had varied, but still, I mean, is very interesting still now, and is very good. No, the work that they are doing in the Ateneo to make all these books that they have on the this wonderful library, old woods, hundreds and thousands, I don't know how many of books that they have there, and the setting was exceptional, and it was very nice to be there and read a little bit and contribute to the nice thing and feeling that books have when they are very old and they're all together. It's like having there the witnesses of our evolution, which is really nice.
The curious thing that I found is that everybody was taking a few pages to read, and the fact that we were doing one after the other in this library, which looked like it had sort of fallen out of the pages of Harry Potter, that hasn't changed in literally 180 years, is that the way we were reading with a kind of the quiet and honourable reverence that you would only ever find normally in a church, which I thought the curious irony of a document which refuted and attacked for many the existence of God and the church has come to be treated with the same unquestioning reverence. It's kind of a great ironies of life. We have to say good evening, Jim. Thanks for turning up. You get to see how I work under fire, and Francisco, who is with us from Pasadena, California. Remember, give us a like and share this to all and sundry when you can. And in the meantime, let's get on with this, shall we?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Daniel.
The money I own.
Right.
Sorry?
I promise I'll get it back to it.
Right, let's go back to the start. Okay.
He knows I'm good for it, right?
Good for what, buddy?
The money I own. I promise I'll get it back to him, and I ain't never broke a promise.
Oh, that? Yeah, he doesn't even mention it.
Good, because he doesn't have to. I've got a shipment coming in next month, and when it does, 5 Gs. They're just going to appear on his desk before he even has a chance to ask where it came from. Just like that.
Just like that. Just so you know, you're short 500. It's like this. When you borrowed the money, Frank said you could pay it back in a month, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Now you missed the deadline. That's all right. Frank understands. These things happen. But, and this is the part you missed, being late comes with interest.
Interest?
Yeah, kind of like a bank. But, like you said, you never break a promise.
Do you like firing guns?
Skeet shooting is fun.
Fun.
Have you ever tried it?
And what about hunting?
I guess it's pretty exciting.
Pretty exciting to kill. Is it exciting to shoot in a classroom?
No.
From what I understand, you and Sebastian were very much in love. You loved Sebastian.
Yes, I did.
Then why did you shoot him? If you loved him so much.
Because he begged me to.
You shot Sebastian because he begged you to.
Yes, that's what I said.
Do you not think we should have then?
No, I'm not saying that. I don't want to, overstep any boundaries.
I feel safe with you, V. You know that, yeah? Then why are you looking at me like you've done something wrong? Maybe we should just forget about it. Because you're acting like you regret it and it's just making me feel like...
liked it.
I liked it too.
She's not going to, is she? Because she trusts you. Maybe she doesn't. I don't know. But I'm not going to lie to someone I care about.
What do you mean, care about? What the hell are you talking about? We're not friends. Leah doesn't give a shit about you. You think this changes anything? After everything you've put Leah through, you think we're just going to open our arms and welcome you in? No, this makes things worse. You're less than you were before. Do you understand that? You're less than nothing.
You can't just cheat, Adam, and expect to get away with it.
Oh, shut up. Just shut up. I should have just let you fall off that fucking roof. I genuinely think the world would have been a better place.
But you didn't know, did you?
You're just a leech, sucking the life out of everything and everyone. I was so happy before you came along.
Okay, that is, as they say, that. Okay. General observations?
General observations. Remember,
let me just give a brief caveat. Okay?
Well, okay.
Hold that thought. Brief caveat. Remember, the three things that we're going to be looking at is the material that you're using, technical issues, good and bad, and also the acting we see, your performance. Those are the three things that are really the sort of like the showreel triangle where things go right and go wrong. Over to you.
No. About the general comments. Well, I like to see him a little bit more like the last one. You know, the other three, they're kind of weak characters, which is okay. But I don't know if that is what you want to convey, and is it this decision or not. If not, I want to make sure that you understand that until the one in the park at the end, all of the others, you came across like someone who plays or who can play, or who's who can play actors that they are, or characters that they are weak. So I don't know if that is exactly what you want, but I put it in there. And then there is some technical stuff that we're going to revise also now. And how much time is the entire thing?
Give me 1 second. The whole thing is 3 minutes and 54.
3 minutes and 54.
Which is pretty long.
Long?
3 minutes and 54 seconds. It's 4 minutes long.
It's 4 minutes long. Yeah, but it's not long.
No, not long per se. I mean, I've seen longer, and I've also seen a lot shorter.
Yeah. Okay, so let's. I mean, you have general comments?
I'll speak to them when I come to them, but they're pretty much what you just mentioned. What any manager, agent needs is somebody who they think can play the leading role in something. That's what they need. They need somebody who's going to be the series regular on the TV show. They're going to be in all 10 episodes. They're going to have their name above the title. They're going to want somebody who's yet to be discovered, somebody who's interesting, original, etc. Okay? One of the things that we consistently see in terms of the material, that's the first part of it, is the text and the scenes that people choose, is that what they very often put themselves in is they put themselves in secondary roles. And if they're men, they put themselves in weak roles. Okay? And one of the problems that we have with that is that it's not necessarily that appealing. That's one of the issues we've got. Okay? Welcome to Warrior Saint. I'm not entirely sure. Warrior Saint. I remember we had a Warrior Saint before. I can't remember who exactly you are, though. Maybe you're the same person. But anyway, so let's go ahead and have a look at this. And I'll mention things as you go through. The other thing is that, Daniel, your profile, your image is very close to what mine was when I was in my early 20s. Okay? Tall, thin, a little bit of an obsession with facial hair. But I'm going to explain that when we get to it in a second, okay?
He knows I'm good for it, right?
Good for what, buddy?
The money I owe him. I promised I'd get it back to him, and I ain't never broke a promise.
Oh, that? Yeah, he doesn't even mention it.
Good, because he doesn't have to. I've got a shipment coming in next month, and when it does, 5 Gs. They're just gonna appear on his desk before he even has a chance to ask where it came from. Just like that.
Just like that. Just so you know, you're short 500. It's like this. When you borrowed the money, Frank said you could pay it back in a month, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Now you missed the deadline. That's all right. Frank understands. These things happen. But, and this is the part you missed, being late comes with interest.
You see, here the problem we have is that we are more with the other character than yourself.
Yeah, the other guy's calling the shots.
Yeah, and so we don't like that. Even if it's the weak character, if you have it, all on you, then we could actually. But since the scene is stolen by the other person, doesn't make too much sense to put that on the first image of yourself that you are there.
And the other thing is, it's not to say. I mean, somebody said to me once that I was in a thing with somebody, and I was the secondary character, and they said that I was so strong I sidekicked the other person in the scene. One of the things that happens here is that you are immediately put into you are being acted upon. You are subordinate to the other person's actions, wills, and everything else. And if there's one thing that nobody finds particularly attractive, is its fear, cowardice, and spinelessness. Okay, I'm not saying that's you as a person or you as an actor, Daniel. I'm just saying that to present yourself as this from the get-go it's not sexy.
Yeah.
All right? Because that's ultimately what we're going to want, is we're going to want something that's strong, something that's powerful, and something which is sexy, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to go to the gym and work out and you're going to, kick ass by throwing your fists around. No. That's a very different type of thing. And I speak as somebody who comes from looking very similar to you in very many ways, okay? One of the things which is the most appealing thing for a young actor of your profile to be able to do is to be powerful, okay? It may sound odd, but that's one of the things that happened. Pinguera Sedienta says, Vaya, hoy estáis en versión original sin doblaje, which means that we're in the original version without being dubbed.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, I can dub Assumpta, but it's not going to work. No puede funcionar. Right, let's go back with that caveat. Let's go back. The basic problem with the first scene is that you're subordinate to the other character who has all the strength and literally the weight in the scene. Let's go back.
Kind of like a bank. But, like you said, you never break a promise.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
a weak choice at the end.
Yeah, exactly. In this choice at the end, you have the camera for yourself. you have to really be careful when they do the planification, and they that you understand what they are doing, because if it goes with him, then okay, you're lost. But if it's with you, there you can do so many good things. You can do, it's not like a rat, just okay, I'm going. No, you have to enjoy this camera on you, this shot that is absolutely yours, and you can see, we have to see so many things. We have to see what was your reaction, what, not only that you are afraid of, and that I think that lacks a little bit of insight of your character, and I think it's a little bit poor and lazy of choices. So one has to always understand that you have to give a lot of possibilities, and then they're going to put it or not. But why we have to dare say why he does that to you. It is really someone that you really care about. How is your friend? The friend is okay? He said it was okay. There's a lot of things that you can say on your thoughts that there's going to be this quality that we are talking about, this protagonist quality, and that's what we want to see. Okay, so always that the camera is on you, you have really to get to the 100% of things, to propose a lot of different things, so that in the same take, which are your thoughts, because only fear and disappear when the camera is on you is not good.
I have to say thank you, Maria Lucky, for the like. Yeah, the show at the end when you
it's not good. It's not enough.
The shot on you at the end, what you do is you play fear throughout the scene. You play excuses, leave me alone, I'll get it for you, da da da. He gives you the bullet, and then you play the same thing at the end. Okay, this hasn't got to do with quality of acting per se. This has to do with good and interesting tactical choices.
Yeah.
You've played cowardice. Let's see if we can play hidden valor, hidden bravery. So that gives you the bullet, and he goes off, and you look at the bullet and you think, all right, how am I going to fix this? Right? So now we've got the turnaround. But the trouble is you're playing one thing from beginning to end, you're on your own, and you play the same thing. Okay? So there's no... Let me just tell you all a bit of a secret here. The reason that we like the way that actors perform leading characters, and what we need to do when we're playing leading characters, is there's one thing that's on the page, there's one thing that everybody in the world knows or understands, and then there's the other thing that we as the audience understand. There's one thing that we get that nobody else gets, perhaps us in the main character. Look at a show like Luther with Idris Elba, is that he has one face for all the cops, all the criminals, and everybody else, and yet we get to see another face, another aspect of his life and his motivations, and we're the only ones who get it. We are the only ones he can share it with, because there's nobody else he can share it with there. And what does that do? It makes him very close to us, and it makes us very sympathetic and empathetic to anything that he's going through, because we've got him. That's kind of the dynamic of any good protagonist, which has got to do with the writing, and it's really got to do with the performance. Okay, let's go back to this.
Sí.
Do you like firing guns?
Skate shooting is fun.
Fun.
Have you ever tried it?
And what about hunting?
You see, what I like about this, and it's very, very, very small, the thing that you do there is your earnest, your honesty about how you look at her. And I know that you can do a lot of things, and because these little seconds, because you are able to really, show this, your thoughts and share my thoughts. So I know that you have it. Sometimes when we shoot, we are pressured by, time, lights, that there is none, even if it's with exteriors. A lot of things can actually distract us from what we want to say, and we have to always be very, very conscious about not giving out nothing else than what is in the page, but all the time, proposing new things, exciting things that can be contradictions, can be surprises for the audience, can generate what we call questions to the audience. If not, if he sees whatever, it is in there right now with what you do, we still don't know what's going to happen, and this earnest look at her, it gives us a lot of insight of you, and we like you because we feel that you're able to actually disarm her with your honesty, and that is really a very nice quality of an actor. When you really can see this honesty with you. It's very small. Can we just go, Scott, a little bit?
Of course. Here we go.
Just to see.
Pretty exciting.
It's a very nice close-up.
Do you like firing guns?
Skate shooting is fun.
Fun.
Have you ever tried it?
Here.
And what about hunting?
It's seconds, but
pretty exciting.
It's very nice, the way you do it.
Is it exciting to shoot in a classroom?
You deliver, and then then from that honesty, you just go to accusing, which is great.
Very much in love.
So that scene for me
Sebastian.
is the first one, not the one that you put
Yes.
there.
I did.
Then why did you shoot him? If you loved him so much.
Because he begged me to.
You shot Sebastian because he begged you to.
Okay, that is a
that's
terrible
what I said.
line. I would just take it away.
Which one?
The repetition of you took his life.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is a problem on the script. Of course, it's not you, but I don't know if there were more of these close-ups on you, because
the other thing you're dealing with here, Assumpta, is it appears to have been edited with music. The trouble is when you got edited with music, particularly this kind of like tonal thing with very slow movement, sometimes it's very difficult to actually make cuts to either add or reduce things, because you got to jump in the music.
So it's always the problem. Is that leads us to what I also want to say, because one thing is what the editor wants to edit in a scene, and another thing is what you want from your video book. There are two
Showreel.
In the showreel. There are two different objectives. What wants the editor is the understanding of a story, the rhythm of a scene. You don't care about that for your video book. What you want is your close-ups, right? And these close-ups, sometimes the editor don't put them in the scene because he thinks or she thinks that it is more interesting to see the other person. And sometimes they are right, because for the scene is what the audience are waiting for, the reaction. Or sometimes then what's happening is that you need to have all your close-ups, and that is a kind of difficult thing to ask to a director, because a director thinks that is his thing, and he has the intellectual property of everything, and and you give him also the rights on a contract or whatever, or if that is in school or whatever. So it's not you who decides, not only the editing, but also they have they don't feel good about giving you your close-ups for you to edit. But for instance, we give it to the actors, because we are all for actors sake, for actors well-being, and
for actors' sake.
Yeah,
well, this is always the great debate, and you and I have had this debate as well. Until what degree of material can we ask for the people? That, for example, if we did a short film for them, one of the things that we have to do is we have to establish that before we go in to do a short film, we have to establish exactly what kind of things they're going to give us afterwards. I know people who've done short films they've done it entirely so they can get some material to put into a showreel, and that's fine. But so much of the time that I've asked people and they go, "This short film is on your curriculum, your CV. Where is it?" And they go, "Well, I did that. I never got it. Does it exist?" Well, I don't know if they finished editing it. It's one of the things that I actually wrote a long kind of blog post essay about how to put together material for a showreel some years ago. Fortunately, a lot of the things that I was talking about back in the day are not present anymore. We have a great fluidity of how to access video material that we've done, high definition stuff. It's not that difficult anymore because we got YouTube, we got Vimeo, we got WeTransfer, we got the ability to send huge files using something like myairbridge.com, which I recommend. If you ever need to send more than 2 gigabytes, go to myairbridge.com. Recommend it. Not sponsors. I just use them if I got to send huge files. That's not the issue anymore. The issue is how close to the original material can we get? And you have to have a very good relationship with the director or the producer or the editor before you can use that, because they are, and rightly so, very protective of the material that they have. I mean, that's just a given.
You're giving away all the rights for exploitation and all this when you sign the contract with them. So it's difficult. Then you say, I want to do another editing. So what you have to do is from the beginning say, okay, I would like, to have all this scene, all my close-ups. I like to have that, and see what their reaction is. If you think that that is impossible, then well, you'll have to, because that's what it is. But sometimes you find people that they're going to tell you, well, how many minutes? Well, it's not going to be more than 1 minute, and then they're going to say, okay, so yeah, I can give it to him. And then you can show it and prove that it's not less than 2 minutes. That's the scene, and that is interesting, because sometimes what they only want is the time that that is gonna be used. Yeah. And so,
well, in actual fact, the film that we worked on recently, The Servant, La Sirvienta, the director, who also happens to be the producer, was generous enough to actually collate everybody's material and send it to everybody.
Yeah, Pablo is something.
So I mean, that's pretty weird. But it's absolutely wonderful that he did it. Because what it meant was it meant he didn't have maybe 30 or 35 or 40 actors all asking him for the material. Can I have a copy? So what it meant was that he wasn't sending a copy of the movie out into the world and letting everybody harvest their material from it. He took the time with some people who worked with him as editors and said, okay, collate everybody's scenes together and send it to each one. Mm-hmm. Which is extraordinary.
Yes, but that is nice, and it's a nice thing to do because before, I mean talking 30s and 40s, the actor had the print on their actual cupboard.
Well, you have to explain what you mean by print. What they gave to the actors back and before, and it was part of their contract, is they would be given an actual 35mm copy of the film. Mm-hmm. That is like 4 tins with 35mm film in it. That's one of the reasons why a lot of films have been recovered, is that people who were given films who never had the chance to use them, or for whatever reason, they actually had them sitting in their attic. Because film is, it might be highly flammable, but it's also a very stable medium. The great irony is that films that are made digitally these days, when they want to make the ultimate, the last backup of the film, because remember, a hard drive is never really going to last more than 10 to 15 years, they think. DVDs probably last slightly less. That what they do for the final backup is that they actually make a 35mm copy. Yeah, but 3 negatives of red, green, and blue.
But you see, it's the concept. Nobody now does that, It's the concept that had varied. Before, the actor was also the creator, the co-author, and that now with all these rights, we're losing a lot of rights. We lost a lot of rights. In Spain and also in Britain. I know for a fact, because, I was for 2 years president of the intellectual property rights collection, or how you call that, the entity that collects
like equity.
Like equity, exactly. So I know that is something, a battle that we lost in Spain. We lost it in 1990s, in the middle of the 1990s, when the law was done, and they gave us what is called accessory rights instead of author rights. Derechos conexos is called. So we are, yes, receiving some money for all the communication of our work, for intellectual property rights, but we are not considered as such. So all this now is a problem to get, what you need and what you want. And it's a question of you being very extremely nice with your producer and director, and really from the beginning telling them that you would like, if there is any close-up, you would like all the scene of you made with your close-ups. That is very, very interesting for you, so for all the actors. So more things.
Keep going.
Yeah.
I think we should have then.
No, I'm not saying that. I don't want to, overstep any boundaries.
Right. This is the moment. Okay. I watched you being hassled by an American mafia guy on an English street. I watched you interrogating a woman who apparently shot somebody. And now I get to the stage where you're on a park bench with a kind of millennial goth girl, and she's nice. But there's a thing that strikes me is you're sporting some fairly extreme hipster face furniture. Okay? You have a mustache that is begging to be waxed. You appear to be... You have the style of a man who should be dressed as an Edwardian gentleman with a high collar and tie. Your moustache waxed and your hair kind of a little bit curly off to the sides. You look great like that. You look fantastic in period costume. I would put money on it. The question that we got here is, it's a very specific style choice. And I understand why. Look, I always looked much younger than I really was. Right? Hopefully I still look younger than I really am.
You do.
Okay, but the thing is, anyway, we have this tendency to try and make ourselves look older. Okay? I get that. Look, I've still got the same thing going on here. Look. Same damn thing. Why? Because we have this idea of a kind of classical elegance and kind of chivalrous handsomeness and elegance that doesn't really work in the modern day.
The savior.
Yeah. So we have this sort of thing which manifests itself in the way we do our hair and the way that we have our face furniture, the way we have our facial hair, our mustaches and our beards, our goatees. So the question is, the first thing, and we've done this before when we've shot showreels for people, is that we'll say, come in with a full beard and we're going to shave it off. We're going to shave it off and we're going to shave it down. So they start off with a full beard and then it goes to like a goatee and mustache and then it ends up like clean shaven, right? And people are not used to it. It's like they're not used to it. The thing is that what we got is you're the same all the way through. So either this is the way you look, which is fine, but
we was shot all in in a
but
close time.
I think
all the ones in the park were
and this is his headshot.
So it's also the same.
So my thing would be is that I remember a very good friend of mine, Louise Delamere. She said to me, and I was like had a beard, like quite a large beard and long hair, and she looked at me and she said, very good actress. She looked at me and she said, you should clean yourself up. You look like you're a homeless person. And I was like, oh my God, me being kind of edgy and kind of sort of scruffily hipster. She had a point. She really had a point. Mm-hmm. You need to be able to change the way you look. My main issue with all of these scenes, because your acting's fine in all of them. The first one is too weak. You're a victim, and you end up a victim. The other one is a little bit stronger. It's a little bit too dark. And then we get to this one.
The second one at the beginning.
Yeah, I got that.
Remember.
But the issue we got here is that you're that you look you got the same look. Mm-hmm. You absolutely have the same look.
Yeah, and that is like in theater, when you start in theater, and you start thinking that putting things or taking off things is going to change your character or the vision. That is a little bit true with the things that we do in film with our hair and and the boys with the facial hair. So it really gives the ideas, different ideas, and you should do that. You should also have nothing on your face. Why? Because you're young. You can play also very young people, and I think that's very nice. It's very nice because if you are a good actor and you can play, let's say, 20s on your 20s, that's fantastic because you have a lot of range, a lot of other characters that are gonna be given to you, and you can also play 30 if you put your facial hair. So 30, I don't know, but
No. He looks like he's in his mid to late 20s.
Yes,
Tops.
yes. Okay, so but you could also try to see if you could do that at the 30s. But nothing wrong of being young, and people like that, and people are looking all the time for that. So anyway, for this scene, let's see it again.
Okay.
I feel safe with you, V. You know that, yeah? Then why are you looking at me like you've done something wrong? Maybe we should just forget about it. Because you're acting like you regret it and it's just making me feel...
No, I liked it.
I liked it too.
Okay, this smile is really a very nice, also again, very honest, very earnest smile that that breaks the heart of women. So that is very interesting when you have a sentimental or a love scene to have that. And I know you have a charm, but we have to see it a little bit more because it is just seconds. You're right. So I think that could be also for the material, for the text that you were given or that you had chosen. So we have to really understand what are really the roles that you can play, and then do accordingly with the text, because you cannot do, okay, I'm going to be a text and then whatever, and it's in your demo reel. What you need to do is to choose the things that you want to say to others, because that is your presentation. And so you have to choose things, It's not like, okay, I'm going to do this workshop and then they're going to shoot me and they're going to give me a text and I'm going to do... It doesn't work like that for a demo reel. Even if you have, a lot of movies that you've done or something like that, that you really are out there, and you always are going to want to have things that you didn't do, that they didn't give it to you, as text, as characters. So it's always good that you also think and have a lot of precision about what you want to show and why,
Yeah. Let's get back.
That is a very nice smile. Very nice little thing there.
I want to watch this again.
Do you not think we should have then?
No, I'm not saying that. I don't want to, overstep any boundaries.
I feel safe with you, V. You know that, yeah? Then why are you looking at me like you've done something wrong? Maybe we should just forget about it. Because you're acting like you regret it and it's just making me feel...
No, I liked it.
Nice. Nice.
I liked it too.
Cheeky bugger.
She's not going to, is she? Because she trusts you. Maybe she doesn't. I don't know. But I'm not going to lie.
I think
to
it's the
someone
same
I care
park and you did it the same day.
Care about.
Be careful about that. And then also there is here a really big problem with the sound.
Yeah, the sound is about I don't know, it's about 5 or 6 decibels lower than it should be. There's something we've talked about before, that whenever somebody's putting together a showreel, or indeed editing anything, you really can't trust the speakers that you're listening to. There's a way of setting up speakers for editing. You put a test tone on of minus 12 decibels. You can get them from YouTube. Most editing software will give you a test tone. So it plays a boo, and you'll see it. The sound meter doesn't go above or below minus 12 decibels. What you do is you set that sound boo to a comfortable listening level. Okay? Take note of it where it is on your computer or on the knob for the volume. That's where the sound is going to dance. That's where you're going to keep it. What you need to do is you need to make sure that every sound, the spoken dialogue, is around about that particular level. If it, for example, in this case, is dropping from minus 12 to minus 18, what happens is everybody has to lean forward and up the sound. And the trouble is that we see very often that something's very quiet and then it's followed by something very loud and it goes back to something very quiet again. And all it does is just another barrier to entry. It's just another thing which is inconvenient. Sound is completely invisible until something's wrong with it. That's another thing. Only when we can't hear something, or it's muffled, or the levels are too high or too low. Apart from that, we just don't notice it. Sound is so important when it comes to image, and like they say, sound is 80% of the picture, that when there's something wrong with it, it just bothers us. We can deal with black and white, out of focus, poorly framed, anything else like that, but what we can't deal with is something that we can't hear properly.
Is actually a lot of times being a little bit distorted. The audience is really more attracted to what they, because generate questions. That is the key, to generate questions all the time. So it's good, Daniel, that you reflect on all this, that you think, okay, that's because it's what we want to see, is what you have to take care of the audience all the time of your acting. That's why the tactics, why the strategies. That's why you cannot allow yourself to be in one scene exactly the same, just one thing, which is fear. That's what's happening on the first one. So you need to reflect about this, because once that the viewer sees that you are in fear, that's it. Yeah, you need another thing, and another thing, and another thing,
And the other thing is, very often what we see, and we don't really see it anywhere here, apart from in the first scene, is that people play attitudes, or they play emotions. If somebody said, all right, you're terrified in the first scene, you go, okay, right, that gives me a certain amount of, idea. Let's just call it direction. But the trouble is, it might be real direction, but it's bad writing. It really is. That I would never consciously write somebody who was just frightened. I would need the turnaround. I need something which said to me at the end that they weren't the way that they were showing themselves to be. Now that's a more interesting scene. The guy's like, "Oh, please don't do it, please don't do it." The guy walks off and he's like, "Right, I'll sort you out." That's more interesting, right? That's immediately more interesting. Those turnarounds, those
changes
are what we could call the negation of the negation in Frank and Robert McKee terms. That's exactly when the coward actually turns out to be the bravest person. That's when the guy who's looked weakest actually ends up being the strongest. That's when the stupid person is actually the smartest. You get that, for example, in The Usual Suspects, the Bryan Singer film with Kevin Spacey, where he won the Oscar, I believe, playing what ended up being Kaiser Soze. And why? Because he was a kind of played a sort of disabled fool, and then ultimately we realize that he's the mastermind behind everything. That's a very common trope that we would say in film and TV, and there's a reason why it exists, is because it's incredibly satisfying. It happens everywhere. Whether it's Benedict Cumberbatch's Sherlock Holmes, which is somebody who's smarter than anybody else in the room, but is sort of mildly autistic and incapable of speaking to people like normal human beings. That's part of the attraction that we have in him. That's exactly the same thing we have with Hugh Laurie's performance as Dr. House in House MD, is that we have the same thing going on there. We have a man who is smarter, more sensitive, and sees more than anybody else. He's just can't help but rub everybody up the wrong way because he has fear of being rejected and hated. So he makes sure that he controls the rejection and the hatred. All of those dichotomies, those ironies of character are usually the sort of things that we should, if we have the space and time and air to do, those are the things that we should be looking for. And the person that we share these things with is the camera, okay? Because the camera is the audience. Let's keep going.
Yes.
What the hell are you talking about? We're not friends. Leah doesn't give a shit about you. You think this changes anything? After everything you've put Leah through, you think we're just gonna open our arms and welcome you in? No, this makes things worse. You're less than you were before. Do you understand that? You're less than nothing.
You can't just cheat, Adam, and expect to get away with
Oh,
it.
shut up. Just shut up. I should have just let you fall off that fucking roof. I genuinely think the world would have been a better place.
But you didn't know, did you?
You're just a leech. Sucking the life out of everything and everyone. I was so happy before you came along.
Be careful, be careful. You have to give a little bit more space at the end of this demo reel. We want to, don't fade too fast. We want to see you so much with strength, for once that we are enjoying it. And so, you cannot deceive, you have to really give a little bit more space to this ending, because it's a nice thing what you do. We didn't see it before. It's nice, no?
How do you feel about guys who wear their bags on a strap across their chest? As far as I'm concerned, there's only two people who get away with it.
Actors?
No. It's Jack Bauer and Indiana Jones. Those are the only two people who get away with it. No. It's an it's an interesting thing. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
There's a certain thing here of is to develop your, it's that idea of developing your physical presence. We actually talked about this in a live stream a few weeks ago about the concept of presence and how we increase it. It may be the single most important factor when it comes to us getting employed, is that how much presence that we can project to people, Warrior Saint. Who are you, Warrior Saint? Who says, you're both a treasury of knowledge and excellent advice. Thank you for sharing it. Well, no problem. Thanks for dropping in. This idea of presence is really the thing that we're looking at
all the time. This is a little bit the quality also of the protagonist or the leading role that we know that the people want to see when they see is the first question is can be the lead. He's a good actor. Everybody wants to discover the next whatever. Who remembers you? Who
reminds you? Who
reminds me? Sorry, your friend.
Which one?
Doctor Who.
David Tennant.
David Tennant.
Well, me, David, him. Yeah, there's a sort of what it doesn't have is there's a kind of hesitance there, and I would almost be inclined to say that the drama center doesn't help that, because he went to the drama center, which is not the place. Drama center either beats you down or you beat it back. One of the things about presence is it's the sort of thing that people have who get kicked out of drama school. No? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, it's the rebel.
It's a kind of.
It's the one that is unconformist. The one that.
Yeah, the one that said, "I don't care what you say, I'm doing it this way."
Yeah, it's the critical thinking. It's the.
It's the heretic.
The heretic.
The blasphemer. It's the one that doesn't follow the rules. You see. This is one of my bugbears about drama schools. Everybody's under the impression that people who go to British drama schools are the best actors in the world, and they're pretty good because it's pretty competitive to get into a drama school. The trouble is that when they get into drama schools, what they teach you is not really what you should be developing, which is your confidence, your very particular brand of heresy, and allowing you to hit the ball as hard as you can. What it does is it makes people who are very cagey and cautious. And when you see Mark Rylance or you see Andrew Scott, even David Tennant as well, they're people who are just fearless. Mm-hmm. And one of the problems is if you feel that the arbiter of the quality of your performance and acting are your tutors or directors, you're screwed, because What the hell do they know? They're not you. They don't know what you're capable of.
Yeah.
My point is with actors, and it's our philosophy when we work with them, is that I just want to put them on the racetrack and open them up and see how fast they can go. You know, and even if they spin and burn and roll off into the barrier, killing half the crowd, I don't care, because at least then we know how far we can take it. That's really the idea of what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, those are, to play with the limits, to play with the dark side, to play with all this is really what is to dare to do that. It's the commitment that we also want from someone that is a leading role, and that is another thing to throw that in. In one of your next texts or next scenes that you can shoot, right? So it's interesting. It's interesting to stop, and instead of giving you the things, actually controlling a little bit more what you want to be presented of, or such, understand what is exactly what I want to say to people. Which kind of roles I like to play that they're never gonna see me in, Give them also what they want to see, or what you think they want to see. It's good if you think that you're thin and you can play also good this kind of weak status or low status. Do it, but also they want to see, oh wow, they can do that. It's like this scene that you're powerful with, the one at the end. We need to we need to surprise, really, on everything that we do.
Yeah, so here we're looking at the three things again. We're looking at the material that you're doing, how it is technically, sound and image. And what was the other one? And the acting, the performance. Mm-hmm. That's what we're looking at. So initially, you need to hit something hard, and you need to hit something which is you all over. You need to work out what is the best thing that you do, and also the thing that you feel freest doing. That's really, really important. It's vital for you, because that's where you're going to play your best jazz, as it were. The next thing is, technically, this isn't bad. Although I would include technically that I'd like to see you with different looks. Now, a different look might be just something in period dress, because...
Yes, because with this facial hair.
Well, I'm sorry. Your facial hair has already sent the DM on the period look. It's definitely committed. Like the man said, bacon and eggs. The chicken is involved. The pig is committed. So what I would say here is that would be ideal. I'd love to see you as an Edwardian gentleman in a tailcoat with a high collar, doing the voodoo that you do so well. Okay. And the other things, I'd like to see you shave it down and be stubbly or something like that. You're clear of complexion. You appear to be very Northern European. So go with something like that. And also, one of the things that you're going to get, and this was the thing that I had in when I was of that particular age, is that the roles for people like us weren't particularly strong or ballsy, as it were. But we had to kind of find the sort of the charm in them, whatever they might be. One of the things about presence that we discovered when we started analyzing it was, apart from the confidence, that heresy, that kind of idea that we're always with the audience, is that thing that everybody really wants to see is a degree of charm. Okay, from men and from women, but particularly from men. There's a reason why the ladies love a bad boy. You see, the thing is, it might be nice in life to be the sort of man that everybody wants to settle down with, but in a movie, it's nice to have the bad boy. In fact, for the most part, no.
It's enjoyable, of course.
Well, no, apart from that, even if you look at romantic comedies, they always start out as bad boys. Mm-hmm. They always start as bad boys, and then they become civilized and have their,
romantic comedy is something that would be nice for you to do.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things is
think on genres, think on profiles,
think on Hugh Grant. Think about Hugh Grant.
Think on other actors that you like,
Yeah, think about that. Think about Hugh Grant. Think about Jeremy Irons. Think about
the dark side of Jeremy.
A world of readiness, williness.
Yes.
You know, all of those sorts.
The ridiculousness of another era. I think that you could play very well.
I would love to see you playing a sort of drunken sort of former public school boy in the 1920s, you know, or the 30s. Somebody who was absolutely, you know, sort of a bit like that, sir. You know, absolutely, what? You know, something which was a little bit sort of inscrutable and charming and sort of had a little bit of wit to it. I think that would be an ideal thing to see you doing.
Yes.
Even a period thing. You know, it's like go read The Libertine by what's his name? Jeffries. I can't remember his first name. Look at the opening speech. Adapt it. Change it. Something which is a little bit dirty.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And also the strength and the romantic comedy, because, you know, those are the three things that I think you can play well. And that would also give you, you know, a more interesting demo reel to show, okay? And it would be more in tune.
Did we get to the end of it? Did we get to? I have to say, Ellie has arrived, and she apologizes because it's a holiday in Sevilla.
Sorry, I'm late.
She says, Hugo says, "Hello from Spain, people. Here listening to these two masters on film industry. Greetings." Well, I'll always take a good compliment. And Warrior Sense says, "I am from Serbia. As a youngster, I was watching both of you in movies and series, and recently found you here. Since then, I've been listening and learning about acting from you two."
Well,
that is
very nice.
One of the most lovely things I've heard of late.
Yes,
welcome,
very nice.
Sir. I assume you're a sir. And I wish I knew some Serbian that I could whip out of my sleeve and appear to be very clever.
Yes,
but I can't. Did we work in Serbia?
Serbia, no.
No, we didn't work in Serbia. We worked in Croatia.
Yeah,
which is definitely up the street. I'm sorry if that's contentious, but we were in. Where were we?
In Borgia, doing. We were in this place that people go for holidays now.
Oh God, I can't remember.
Well, anyway, let's see.
It was a wild weekend. What can I say? So let's get to the end of this. All right. So
Daniel Peary.
Right.
Let me see. That is too
short.
Fast, too short. I cannot see you there. I mean, I'm sorry. I cannot see who you are. So, can I see the last?
No. It doesn't end on anything. That went straight back to the start. Okay, let's have a look at this. Okay, I'm going to watch this now, right? This is the start. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, give me 4 seconds, buddy. Give me 4 seconds at the start. We need 4 seconds. There's a lot of information there. Watch.
Yes, more, you know.
I'm good for it, right?
Right, okay, so let's just quickly go back to the start.
Okay, I say Daniel okay. Peary. Okay, Spotlight. Oof.
We got Spotlight ID, which okay.
Oof, the Daniel Ross P. The Internet represented by Nelson Management. List Nelson Talent Management. Okay.
All right.
You know what I mean? It's a lot of information.
But it's good.
To read.
But it's good. Look, nobody's going to sit there and go, all right, you're write this down. They go, okay, he's got an agent, he's on Spotlight. That's what we're saying there.
Yeah, that's all.
But give me 4 seconds, okay? Just give us 4 seconds. I think less than that is not enough time to take into consideration something. But dude, you need to have some photos done where you don't have the waxable moustache. Okay.
Okay. We told you everything that suggests. Of course, if you
no. Look, Jim also said I think he would be more suited with a full beard. I reckon he'd be really pull it off. You know.
Well, what I think is that if we would know more about you, of course, we could help you more. If it's always the same. You know, is to understand exactly the essence. And put it up there, because what we want is to feel that you are unique, that your quality is the quality of a star, and that is exactly what they want to see, and so you have to give it to them, right? Because that's what you want to do.
Well, let me tell you about young Daniel here.
Okay.
Okay, so he doesn't speak any other languages apparently. He only speaks English. He plays the bass, the guitar, and he sings. He's also worked as a camera operator, a drone pilot, a filmmaker.
Wow.
He's done video gaming and firearms training. What kind of video games? Us two.
Yes, I like it. That is, a CV is a way of, we have to feel that we are all the time comparing. So he's saying, oh, that I liked it too. Oh, this. Oh, yes,
Yeah,
I did
but
it.
get this.
Oh, yeah, I know these actors that they are only do that. It's always like that. So more precise and more detailed is your skills and the things that you want to. Is fabulous information for us. Perhaps one is not going to catch it, but the next one for sure is going to catch that thing, because that is exactly the same that they like. Or they're passionate about it. So that is the things that you have to put in your CV to be able to do it personal,
Let me just get back to where I was. Oh, no, I didn't want that. I'm in the totally wrong place. There we go. Wrong computer. Okay, what's interesting, highly skilled scuba diver.
Scuba diving.
Yeah, highly skilled scuba diver.
Nice.
You never know when that's going to come in useful. Do me a favor, go learn how to ride a horse.
Laban training, what's that? Laban training.
I
don't know
God,
what's that.
I used to know what that is.
Meissner technique, okay. Laban training.
It's movement.
Okay.
It's movement stuff.
So you say Laban training, Meissner technique, physical theater, puppetry. Interesting. Radio drama, theater in education, nice. Verbatim theater, voice acting, voiceover. Okay, so you dive. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's very well organized, at least,
Well, this is Spotlight. This is
Spotlight.
Spotlight.
Okay, I understand.
And his training is the drama studio in London. This is the drama studio in London, not the drama centre.
So.
Okay, so scrub everything
things.
I said about the drama centre.
Look, Ellie says, I'm good at horse riding. Yeah, wow.
Really? I didn't know
nice.
that.
No, we didn't know that. Okay, so thank you very much. I think we try to get you some insights. I think, hopefully you're going to think the same. Write to us whatever you want. After you saw this analysis, we are happy to see your comments and whatever you want to say. We do classes also, in acting that they are very interesting also for a young person like you.
But the other thing I want to say is please take note that this is no criticism of you personally or your acting. Your acting is fine. The first scene is not the best scene because you're a victim and you're weak. And also, it doesn't end up with a. There's not a good tactical
choices.
Not a good tactical choice you've made at the end. At your age, you really want to be showing something else. Look, when I left drama school, the idea of having a demo reel was impossible, absolutely impossible for anybody. A, you couldn't get your hands on the material, and two, you had no way of editing the damn thing. When I got to Los Angeles with you back in the day, you had a guy who edited stuff. It cost a fortune, cost an arm and a leg, and he was editing from VHS tapes.
Yeah.
Between basically machine-controlled U-matic tape decks, there was no way of doing it with a computer. That didn't appear on the scene until the start of the century. So really, the first offline editors that you'd be talking about, like which would be Avid back in the day or Media 100, and then eventually you got Final Cut Pro made its appearance, and then you had iMovie,
Adobe,
and then Media Player,
blah, blah, blah.
and then all the rest of it, and then
myriad. Yes, exactly.
Okay, and now you can do it. Now your phone is more powerful than the computers that they used to professionally edit movies, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It's one thing that people don't know is the power of the processors of the entire render farm that was used to make Toy Story 1 has the equivalent, or had the equivalent, processing power of one iPhone 6. Not 7, not XR, not 14. One iPhone 6 has the same processing power than the entire render farm that was used to make Toy Story 1. Those are the weird things of world of science fiction that we're living in right now.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so this is not a criticism of you, your performance, or anything else like that.
Science fiction, really.
You need to be able to show something which is other aspects of you, and you need to show something where you're strong, where you're masculine, where you got wit, and when you got charm, and you got a bit of fuck you to you. That's what you need.
Well, thank you very much. We arrived here. It's 9:15 almost. On Thursday, we're going to be back. We're going to also we're gonna have more video,
Absolutely, we've got more things.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll have more interesting things to debate, because it's an opportunity for us to really not only understand the person, but communicate what we think about acting, which is also a great opportunity for us.
Remember it. So Jim says.
My thing is, I've always wanted to do voice work. Sorry, I cannot read.
Sorry. I've always wanted to do voice work. I cannot count how many different voices I've made up for Dale, that's his son, when we played with Lego.
Nice.
That's how it all starts.
Yeah.
The only other thing is
you're always telling me that.
Yeah, that's I started out doing funny voices when I was a kid. The point is that the idea is that to commit to it. Well, that's a different story. When I was in Los Angeles, I actually met people who had extraordinary voiceover careers, and quite frankly, I was blown away. I was totally shocked by how good they were. I mean, amazingly. I mean, people who were doing well, because they would be doing 4 or 5 different voices in the same thing, and every single voice was completely different and didn't sound like them. And the most extraordinary thing, they were all incredible mimics. But I equate it to, it's like if you were a comic book artist and you drew a character, then in the next square you needed to draw the same character, but it needed to look like the same character. Mm-hmm. Okay, these are the things that we assume that are simple, and that's certainly what these voiceover people were doing. They were capable of not only playing the exact same tone and sound, but also playing the character in that particular way. Because the other thing about actually doing voiceovers, particularly if it's cartoons or anything like that, is what you're effectively doing is you're acting. There's no other way out of it. You're going to put the light on.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the other one. There we go. And we're back. So,
okay. Yes.
So Ellie says, pity I missed the demo reel. Don't worry, you can always go back and watch it. This will still be there. And Fran says, thank you very much.
It has been charming and charming.
Yes. Very well fandango.
I think you never told us, Scott, what made you go to drama school?
What made me go to drama school? I was advised by my drama school, my teacher in my secondary school. He said to me, you could do this if you wanted, and I'll help you. And it's one of the reasons that I am so keen on encouraging people where they need encouragement, because I know how much that encouragement meant to me back in the day when I was 15, 16 years old, and I know it can make a world of difference, not just as an actor, but just as a person. Having a little bit of encouragement can really open a door onto a complete world that you never knew existed. Yes. Particularly for me, who didn't really necessarily come from the best. I didn't grow in the best soil. Let's just say it like that.
Well, me being in the best soil, or one of the best soils that you can imagine.
Look at the state of you.
No. It was not encouragement. Was it the contrary? It was the rebellion that made me do it. So, it made me actually wanting to do that, even if my parents didn't want to. And, so it's interesting, so sometimes you arrive to the same place for different reasons. But the important thing is that you always have this commitment with whatever you are doing.
Well, in many ways, you were running away from something. I was running towards something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go, Scott.
Yeah, let's go. Thank you very much. Remember, if you want to send us your showreels, you can send us the link. If it's open on Vimeo or on YouTube, you can send it to Scott at familiadecine.com. In Spanish, we say familiadecine.com.
And English is
Familia de Cine.
No, cinema family. No?
Yeah, no, but
movie family.
That's what it's called.
Film family.
The film family.
Film family.
It's not that hard.
No, it's not that hard.
Send it to us there. Remember, if you're on YouTube right now, give us a like, follow the page, and subscribe with the little bell so you never miss a live stream from us. We are live Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. We're in English on Thursdays. The rest of the time we're here in Spanish. If you want to join us, if you want to support us, you want to help us, you can go to patreon.com/Assumpta Serna, which is my good lady wife's name there. The other thing you can do, look, I forgot about this. You can actually buy me a coffee.
Oh, really?
Buy me a coffee. Did you like that? I haven't seen that in a long time. Buy me a coffee / Assumpta Serna. I completely forgot that we had that.
Yes, me too. That was at the beginning, no? That was in full pandemic.
Yeah, we haven't used that for quite a while.
Quite a while.
But anyway, that's buy me a coffee. Okay, let me just go and switch that off there. That got a bit weird for a second there. Right, but thank you very much. We'll be back tomorrow in Spanish.
And next Thursday, until next Thursday.
Upwards.
And?
Onwards. You always forget that bit, don't you? All right. A little after show after this. Bye for now. And here we are. We sing along, don't we?
Yes, we sing along, and I like it. I like this.
You know
tune.
that?
Yeah.
Well,
Where
it's
is
jazz.
this from?
I don't know. It's a piece of completely free music that came with iMovie about 15 years ago.
But you had chosen it very well, and it's never boring.
Well, that's jazz music for you. Well, the curious thing about that piece of music is that piece of music has been used in another piece of music. So sometimes I get somebody complaining about copyright because I'm using a piece of music that's in a different song, but they used the music. So they use the free music, and now the music belongs to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I stole the Mona Lisa and I put the Mona Lisa in another painting, and you go, well, you can't have it back. It's my painting now.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, it's this is.
You are so right about encouraging people, young or not so young. Says
Absolutely.
Absolutely, we need to do that
it's very
all
important.
the time. If you think, if you see someone that really wants to do something, okay, you don't have to.
No.
That it has some quality, and that you just have to encourage it, of course.
Look, you've got Warrior Saint. Thanks for the stream. Very useful. Always nice to see you too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Guerrero, Santo Guerrero.
Santo Guerrero. Sí,
Sounds
señor.
good in Spanish, doesn't it? Santo Guerrero. Francisco says, great analysis, guys. Good night. See you soon. It's a very important thing. And one of the curious things that occurred to me the other day is the amount of time that we'll spend on one showreel, which lasts, in this case, 3 minutes and 56 seconds. We're talking about acting. We're talking about image. We're talking about all those things.
Yes.
That if this was me as a drama student, we have already given somebody more care and attention and more critical and positive analysis of what their work is and how they can promote themselves than I got in 3 years of drama school.
But we like actors. We like you.
Yeah, but one of the reasons that we do what we do is that we never had this when we were starting out.
So look at Ellie. It says, you have done when you meet me, even if I'm not so good yet, but I'll be eternally thankful. Thank you, Ellie.
Thank you. But, when something doesn't work, we say it. We really say it. And our intention is never to cause harm or do damage or anything like that. Our intention is also always to see if there's a way we can turn around and perhaps give some point of view advice or another idea which might make something more effective in whatever way it can be. It's tough. There's sometimes we've seen things that can genuinely do actual harm, and that's a tough thing. But I think it's also our responsibility to tell people when things really don't work.
Of course.
That's really important. Because otherwise,
and one thing that we discovered at the beginning is that every single person, if you look it right, if you say the right words, if you do it with a positive energy, this person is going to flourish today or tomorrow, but it's going to. And that is so nice, because that means that, that first that you have the ability to listen to everyone, and that is, that is something that you can feel proud. And on the other hand, there is so much need of people not being alone, of people being actually, taken care of, that, it's nice to do it. It's nice to do it. And it's only an hour and a half of our time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the other thing is George Bernard Shaw said, if you want to learn, read; if you want to understand, teach. Is that we have had so many extraordinary revelations about the nature of actors and acting, just from speaking online, analyzing this, and also the last 20 years of working with actors directly.
It's always a challenge, for us, revising demo reels, because it gives us insight very soon, but to fix it is interesting.
Well, it's the curious thing is that drama schools sort of treat actors like they can barely walk, but if you stay with us, we'll show you how to run. The way I see it is I believe that you're capable of flying. I just need to make sure that you understand that you can do it as well, and not only just do it once, but learn how to repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. You need to find your mojo. You need to find where you dance. You need to find your groove. You need to find your jazz.
Yeah.
That's one of the things which is really, really important, because then we're going to truly start seeing something which is original and exciting and confident,
And Ellie, what happened to you? Because he says, I'll learn on about flourishing. Well, because what happened to you? Because you were doing classes with Scott about acting, and then...
I don't think this is the moment to give her a hard time
it's
on
not
a live
hard
stream.
Time. It's not a hard time. It's
No, but this
it's
is
not a hard time.
Yeah, but this is the other thing.
It's to put priorities.
I know, but this is the other thing which is important for me, is that everything kind of has its time. We see people go and come back, and that's okay too. I think
She says life is hard. Yeah, that could be.
Yeah. Nobody said it would be easier.
No.
No. Well, that
Certainly not.
one of the problems is that people try to work out how to make it easier, and that doesn't make it any happier. It just makes it less meaningful. It's kind of one of those things that anything that's truly worthwhile requires a degree of commitment and strife. Let's put it like that. Talking of commitment and strife, let's go have dinner. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here with us tonight, and everybody who's out there in Instagram land. Sorry if you're looking at my ear. I don't mean that like that. Remember, you can follow us on patreon.com/Assumpta Serna. That's the best way to help us out, but also on Facebook and YouTube. And I have to say hello to Cristina Inés Costa Madrano, she says, saludos from Mercadona.
Mercadona, nice.
Yeah.
She's there.
Well, that maybe Irene Montero has gone back to. I don't think they'd have her back, so I'm not entirely sure.
Montserrat 1962. It's not going to be my.
You never know.
You never know.
62. Is she younger than you?
She's a little bit younger.
Well, 62
I know, it's a little bit older. You don't know.
Who knows?
Montserrat Serrallonga.
Wonderful advice from great people, Zenk. Think. I think he's saying think, as in thank you.
Thank.
Right, let's go. Let's go. Love you all a bit.
Thank you, Fran. It was nice to see you there, even if I didn't listen to you while you were reading it, because I was doing kind of business.
And you didn't listen to me either.
And I didn't listen to you. But anyway, I was very glad that I could do that.
I sent him the video of it.
Okay.
I sent him the video of it.
Good.
Yeah, he sent me the video of me.
Okay,
which he buggered up.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, he bollocksed. Yeah, but anyway, it was good to have you there. And we'll be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. Pues
bye.
A las 8. Ciao for now. Bye.